That mad scientist was hand-feeding the Indominus Rex pure insanity. He snapped his fingers, erupting into manic laughter. His colleagues just watched, dead-eyed. They were popping champagne, celebrating humanity's ultimate, twisted masterpiece, the Indominus Rex. But witnessing this, Leo froze entirely. Absolute terror nearly made him wet himself. This exact scene played out in the Jurassic Park movies. 100% identical. Jurassic World bred a male and female. The sister eats the brother and Leo was born male. Just as despair swallowed Leo whole, a holographic system screen suddenly ignited before him. Gene Fusion Simulator. His past life's game that absorbs and fuses Prey's genetic codes. T-Rex for crushing jaws. Raptor for lightning speed. Giganotosaurus for serrated fangs. Cuttlefish for camouflage and rapid growth. Viper for thermal vision. Leo analyzed every passive skill. His absolute priority now lay low and evolve in the shadows. Then break out of this death park. Because following the movie's plot, Jurassic World would be utterly destroyed by the Indominus Rex, and Isla Nublar would burn. Dr. Henry smirked, holding 2 chunks of meat. The Indominus Rex was his ultimate cash cow. But as he approached to feed the female, the baby monster lunged fiercely. Her saw-like jaws snapped down onto Dr. Henry's hand. That devastating bite nearly severed his fingers. Pure savagery. Fresh blood poured down. Yet Henry showed zero fear. His manic grin only widened. A chill ran down Leo's spine watching. The sister's killing intent was awake from birth. Leo had to evolve fast, or get butchered. His first time tasting raw flesh. Yet his dinosaur taste buds found it absolutely delicious. Meat consumed too. Gene points gained. After eating, Leo successfully secured 1 complete gene point. Leo stared sharply at his claws. He instantly dumped his point into the cuttlefish gene. Cuttlefish lifespans are brief, but their extreme growth rate is absolutely insane. They reach full adulthood in just 50 days. This was the absolute power Leo desperately needed. Only lightning evolution could secure his survival. 3 days vanished in the blink of an eye. Leo successfully harvested 10 gene points. He dumped everything into maxing out his cuttlefish growth skill, reaching the maximum gene limit. Boiling heat erupted in his blood. Cuttlefish gene broke level 2. His growth speed doubled. Leo smiled in satisfaction. His instinct for this evolution path was flawless. His sister Gray also inherited this gene. But now, Leo's evolution speed was twice as savage. With terrifying physical specs and human intelligence, Leo no longer feared facing that crazy, psychotic sister. Several days later, both beasts were transported into Jurassic World tracking chips, embedded to prevent escape. Throughout the journey, Leo was confined in a dark, suffocating cage. It was proven those greedy humans did not see him as living, just a money-printing machine. If he was no longer human, he must prepare for war against all humanity. After hours of travel, they reached Paddock 11, the most isolated death cage in Jurassic World. 12-meter-high reinforced concrete walls trapped them. An observation deck perched arrogantly in the center. Dense tropical jungle covered the inside. Leo realized clearly, this was his future battlefield alongside Gray. Home. My foot. This was a prison. Massive walls trapped them like pathetic frogs in a well. Never mind Gray. Leo himself would go utterly insane rotting inside this damn cursed steel cage. Escaping now was pure suicide. Even if he broke out, human forces would easily drag him back. Gray went completely berserk upon entering. She lunged, tearing and biting the steel walls on pure instinct. In stark contrast, Leo paced calmly. He mapped out the entire layout like a master strategist, staring at the observation deck. His naked eyes couldn't pierce the one-way mirror glass, but his Viper thermal sensors ignited. He clearly saw the glowing body heat of hidden humans. These foolish humans had no idea. As they stared into the deadly abyss, the abyss stared right back. Leo didn't care. 1 week after birth, his T-Rex bite gene hit level 2. His muscle mass doubled. All genetic points were dumped to boost his dominant T-Rex gene. Leo checked his status panel. Name: Leo. Age: 7 days. Species: male Indominus Rex. In 7 days, his growth exploded. Compared to his massive frame, Gray looked tiny. Still, Leo stayed sharp. Only 2 options remained: eliminate the threat, or force her into absolute submission. In the corner, Gray unleashed a beastly, furious roar. Trapped, she accepted her fate. Suddenly, gears ground behind the steel wall. Feeding time had arrived. Leo approached as usual. Shockingly, Gray snatched all the goat meat for herself. She growled, projecting lethal intent. Fighting over food, time for their first clash. Hierarchy must be enforced. In the original plot, the larger female crushed and devoured the weaker male without mercy. But this time, Leo refused to back down. He lunged, targeting her neck. Gray fiercely fought back, unleashing fangs and claws. Leo was much faster. His jaws locked Gray's throat, violently slamming her down. Gray crashed into the dirt. Though powerless, she bared her fangs, utterly refusing to submit to him. What followed was a totally merciless, one-sided beatdown, even unmaxed. Leo's double strength crushed her resistance. After enduring brutal slams, Gray's fighting spirit shattered. She rolled over, exposing her belly in total surrender. How pathetic. You are truly nothing against me. Now, she knew the true King Leo released her and took back his meal. Taming beasts requires early, harsh training. Gray lay frozen, watching Leo devour the meal. She was too terrified to move. Once Leo roared in satisfaction, she crept to the scraps. Thinking about it, it was time to name her. The original story had Blue the Raptor. Since this female had grayish scales, her new name would be Gray. Since then, training Gray became his daily duty. Time passed by in the blink of an eye. 3 months later in Pen 11, live prey was dropped into the incredibly dense, overgrown bushes. Leo and Gray took positions, stalking silently. A second later, Leo bolted like lightning. He pounced, crushing his prey. The target collapsed instantly, squealing in sheer, raw panic. Leo's jaws shredded its neck. Gray also lunged, sinking her sharp fangs deep into its belly. The screams died forever. Pig hunt successful. Gained 5 genetic points. The DNA was now ready for extraction. Pig gene gave level 1 toughness. Useless Leo dumped all 5 points straight into his squid growth gene instead. Hitting level 3, his growth speed wildly tripled. He could easily butcher a lion or tiger now. But it was not enough. Leo's true enemies were never just wild beasts. They were humans. He would only escape once he could slaughter a fully armed military unit. Meal finished. Suddenly, Leo's thermal sensors detected motion from the upper observation deck. It was Dr. Henry, beside a plump man from an elite mercenary squad. The ruthless Hoskins. Henry, you literally engineered the most perfect killing machine. But they hatched together. Why the vast size difference? Hoskins trembled, hiding his crazed excitement. I injected squid DNA into both genomes. It forcefully accelerated their growth rate to the extreme. The male absorbed more squid DNA, causing rapid growth. Dr. Henry explained. Absolute madness. Hoskins' eyes gleamed with wild greed. These Indominus Rex were merely early prototypes from the dock. Officially, they were just another exhibit for Jurassic World. Behind the scenes, they were crafted as ultimate military weapons. If they perform well, Dr. Henry plans to mass-produce an invincible Indominus Rex strike force. 10 months flew by. Leo hit 15 meters long, 7.5 meters tall, and a monstrous 20 tons. He already matched the adult female from the original lore. Even crazier, all his genetics reached level 5. His T-Rex bite gene evolved into an absolute crushing grip. His Raptor gene unlocked godlike speed. Leo checked his panel. Name: Leo. Age: 10 months. A true apex species. Leo's giant form was terrifying, compared to 10-month-old Gray, who was 7 meters long and weighed 4 tons. He was still 5 times smaller. Time to shatter this cage and claim freedom. Rotting in here was totally pointless. First, resources here were pathetic. The daily rations from those arrogant humans were reduced to mere scraps. Second, endless confinement enraged. The King Leo refused to remain a prisoner in this pathetic cage. Time to annihilate every human on this island. No one would survive. Leo turned, unleashing an earth-shattering roar at the feasting Gray. That savage roar was the signal. The grand escape had officially begun. In the original story, the female used tree frog genes for thermal camouflage, solely to deceive the cage scanners. She gouged deep claw marks into the wall, faking a flawless illusion that the beast had climbed out. Claire rushed to the control room to track it. The beast was actually hiding inside, but it was too late. The guards had entered. The female emerged from the dark, blocking the exit entirely. The guards were forced to open the main gate to survive, allowing her escape. However, That method relied entirely on pure luck. Leo's plan was far simpler. He would crush it with sheer force. A piercing glare at the gate was enough. Mere steel couldn't stop him. This absolute strike carried 10 months of blazing wrath and endless suffering. Even heaven's will couldn't hold him back. In the observation room, Masrani and Claire watched in pure, terrified disbelief. This was absolute madness. The male beast had utterly annihilated the main gate, successfully shattering that cursed cage. Following closely behind, Gray finally emerged from enclosure 11. Outside, the clueless workers were still busy. The monsters were loose. Everyone fled in blind panic, but one rookie barely moved before a massive tail whipped through the air. The unlucky guy was sent flying over 10 meters, crashing violently into the unforgiving ground. No mercy at all. Leo felt zero pity for these humans. One flash of his steel-like claws extinguished another life. Target eliminated, 2 gene points acquired. Leo merely scoffed. They simply weren't worth his time. Far worse than hunting wild boars. Behind him, Gray leaped in savage ecstasy, snapping up an unlucky worker and swallowing him whole. In mere seconds, the area outside enclosure 11 became a devastating sea of absolute ruin, and the 2 rampaging monsters had vanished without a trace. Inside the observation room, only Masrani and Claire remained. Order the control room to track them immediately. Contact security. Deploy an armed squad right now and bring them back. Masrani screamed in sheer panic. Use non-lethal weapons only. Do not harm them. Capture them alive. This is an absolute order. He made sure those final words were heard clearly. Meanwhile, Leo surged with absolute power, swiftly leading Gray away. His Viper gene's thermal sensors were fully activated. Every movement within 1 kilometer mapped perfectly onto his instincts. Sprinting freely, Leo felt his confinement chains shatter. He stretched his claws in pure satisfaction. What awaited across the sea? Absolute freedom. That was his ultimate destiny. Shattering the cage was merely step 1. Human forces would surely pursue them. That was an unavoidable reality. Time to show these arrogant humans true prehistoric power. Leo reached toward his left shoulder, plunging his steel claws deep inside. A thumb-sized tracking chip was torn free, now resting firmly in his powerful grip. The king ruthlessly tore out Gray's chip in the exact same manner, however. Leo wasn't just going to toss them away. These devices were perfect bait to turn the humans' trap against them. In the control room, Masrani and Claire arrived. Deathly pale, the beast's tracking chips broadcasted their location, surging rapidly toward the deep south. Control center to Squad 1. Our targets are the 2 escaped beasts. Non-lethal weapons are fully authorized. Understood. The squad replied in unison. They moved like lightning, armed with non-lethal weaponry, boarding tactical vehicles. They sped off. The main monitor displayed their feed. They had stopped. Suddenly, the trackers showed the monsters had completely stopped. All units dismount, infiltrate the area immediately. Following orders, the squad instantly disembarked, advancing cautiously into the ancient forest. Weapons drawn, the squad leader, an elite soldier, checked the tracker on his wrist. His troop silently waded across the babbling river. The commander checked his watch, his face incredibly tense. The signal overlapped exactly. Yet, there was no sign of the monsters. Thermal scanners showed 0 anomalies. The silence was deafening. He was still puzzled when instinct forced him to halt. He raised a clenched fist. The entire squad froze instantly behind him. 2 pale gray lumps caught the corner of his eye. Looking closer, they weren't rocks. They were chunks of raw flesh, dripping fresh blood. The squad commander crouched, grabbing the device with trembling hands. The tracking chip blinked mockingly. What is that? The boss asked from the control room, completely bewildered. That is the tracker. It clawed it out. Claire's face drained, turning as pale as a corpse. Fresh blood suddenly splashed onto his hand. He looked up, paralyzed by absolute terror. The canopy above dripped with crimson. The dense foliage rustled violently, despite the dead air. Without warning, a massive, razor-toothed reptilian head pierced the shadows. Its terrifying, colossal frame followed. Doom had arrived. 2 Indominus apex predators glared down, their crimson eyes radiating pure bloodlust. Heavens, the beast possessed active camouflage. The commander's mind completely shattered into blank panic. Before he could scream, Leo lunged with massive jaws, swallowing the commander completely alive. Target eliminated. 3 genetic points acquired. Slaughtering these elite soldiers yielded a massive point harvest. Leo's perfect stealth came from fusing cuttlefish genes with a deadly tree frog's multispectral camouflage. An absolutely lethal tactic. Back in the control room, The commander's vitals instantly flatlined. Masrani, Claire, and the entire staff stood paralyzed. Open fire slaughter that beast immediately. The surviving squad panicked, unleashing a blind barrage. But as the stun dart struck Leo, the electric shocks merely tickled his muscles. It felt like a pathetic, meaningless scratch against his armor, shrugging off their pathetic assault. Leo charged fiercely right into the heart of their formation. One slow soldier was brutally trampled, his body launched skyward before crashing heavily into the dirt. Every inch of the Indominus was a lethal weapon. Under 5 minutes, the elite squad was massacred. The last survivor stared at his fallen comrades. His courage instantly shattered into absolute terror. He dropped his weapon, fleeing blindly. But the female Indominus already blocked his escape path. Razor-sharp jaws lunged with terrifying speed, snapping brutally shut and swallowing the man into absolute darkness. After utterly wiping out the squad, Leo successfully hoarded over 50 precious genetic points. He banked them for a grander evolution. On the monitors, every single vital sign vanished entirely. Dead silence choked the room. Total wipeout. What is our next move? A staff member asked, trembling violently. We have lost tracking on the beast. Claire turned sharply. Deploy Unit 2 immediately. Load live ammunition. Scour every single inch of this entire park. Hunt that monster and execute it without mercy. Masrani reluctantly authorized the absolute kill order. This Indominus Rex was completely out of control. To prevent an absolute bloodbath, it had to die. Golden sunlight pierced the dense canopy. Heading south, Leo and Gray finally broke through the heavy tree line. A massive open plain stretched endlessly before them. This was the sacred herbivore sanctuary. Brachiosaurus herds roamed the horizon. Triceratops clustered nearby, alongside heavily armored Ankylosaurus, marching steadily. But for an apex Indominus Rex, this was an absolute, limitless hunting paradise. Leo had fused countless genes, but his evolution remained incomplete. Physical defense was his glaring weakness. To compensate, he needed insane durability. Leo's predatory death glare locked onto 3 massive Ankylosaurus. He anchored his massive hind legs into the earth. His massive body split the wind, charging the Ankylosaurus like a terrifying hurricane. The Ankylosaurus fled in sheer panic. The ground quaked as Leo lunged, mercilessly ambushing the frightened herd. The devastating collision violently launched the armored behemoth, flipping it completely upside down. Its unarmored underbelly was a fatal flaw. Without hesitation, Leo sunk his fangs in, tearing flesh apart. The prey convulsed in its death throes, still unsatisfied. Leo spun around, locking onto the remaining 2. The Ankylosaurus stopped fleeing from the mad predator, violently swinging its massive tail club at Leo. That massive tail club was utterly deadly. One strike could pulverize bone and shred muscle, unleashing his awakened raptor agility. Leo perfectly predicted the attack and leaped backward just in time. As the blow missed, he brutally flipped another Ankylosaurus. His claws shredded its belly like fabric. The final Ankylosaurus could not escape its bloody destiny. It joined its fallen comrades, bleeding out completely. System prompt target annihilated. 150 points gained. Ankylosaurus gene extraction ready. Level 1 bone armor. Extract. Leo triggered it. Instantly, searing heat erupted deep within his very bones. His scales triggered a wild evolution. The gray armor thickened, hardening into absolute steel. Dense keratin coated his skin. Brutal. Blade-like spikes erupted violently across his back. Ankylosaurus fusion complete. Wasting no time, Leo dumped all his remaining points into it. He pushed his armor to level 4 until hitting 0. Leo admired his newly forged shield. Its insane durability surpassed normal bone, gleaming under the light like solid metal. Perfect, Leo signaled Gray. The 2 massive titans immediately devoured their prey with brutal hunger. Finished feasting, the brothers hunted for new prey, preparing before the humans struck back. They had to hunt faster, far more points, and violently force their evolution to the max. Elsewhere, Masrani stormed the genetic lab to confront Dr. Henry. Tell me right now, what exactly is that Indominus monster? Masrani glared, demanding answers. My apologies, but that is highly classified company data. The genetic makeup of the Indominus belongs strictly to InGen. Dr. Henry calmly sipped tea. That monster slaughtered people. Masrani roared. Henry just smirked. Your creation is a disaster. The board will seize everything. You will pay dearly for this nightmare. Masrani's tone was absolute. Yet, Henry just smiled coldly. If he wanted war, their deal was dead. It was the perfect time to pack up and escape. Chaos erupted in the northern herbivore zone. Dinosaurs trampled each other in pure terror. The Grim Reaper had arrived. The Indominus roared. It echoed like a chilling death bell across the park. Even the colossal Brachiosaurus trembled in fear. Everything fled in absolute, chaotic panic. Forced into a corner, one adult titan turned around to face the two nightmarish predators, 25 meters long, 15 meters high, and 50 tons. Its sheer mass dwarfed the brothers. Yet, it was merely prey. Leo locked eyes with the giant, lacking even a single drop of fear. The ground shattered beneath him. Leo launched like lightning, followed closely by a berserk Gray. Gray flanked from the side. Leo snapped his massive jaws wide, mercilessly tearing into its thick neck. His evolved T-Rex bite force exploded to its absolute, devastating maximum. Razor teeth shredded flesh. His five-fold bite force shattered the beast's neck bone instantly. The titan collapsed like a falling mountain, crashing into the earth with a deafening roar. Leo sank his steel claws into its main artery. Blood sprayed wildly, securing the instant kill. System prompt Brachiosaurus slain. Gained 300 points, giant gene unlocked. Leo's eyes burned with wild ambition. This was it, bigger meant deadlier. Evolving to the size of King Kong or Godzilla would make him an absolute legend. As the new DNA merged, Leo felt like a ticking volcano about to completely erupt. His blood boiled like magma. Agonizing pain ruthlessly tortured every single cell. Leo clenched his jaw, swallowing a painful roar. Watching from the sidelines, Gray grew extremely anxious. He whined softly for his brother. Meanwhile, billions of cells inside Leo violently mutated and multiplied. Muscles and bones tore apart. Within seconds, Leo's entire frame expanded drastically like a sponge in water. The evolution was terrifyingly visible. Every single body part bulged into a monstrous new form, 20 meters long and 10 meters high. His weight doubled, rocketing straight to 50 tons. The heat vanished. Leo unleashed a sky-shattering roar. Unprecedented. Absolute power violently surged through his veins. Leo checked his status. 20 meters long, boasting a crushing 50 tons of pure mass. Simply perfect. Seeing his brother double in size in the blink of an eye, Gray stood absolutely paralyzed in awe. Sticking by him was the only option. Leo gently nudged Gray, knowing this was his sole surviving family, the only blood he would fiercely protect to the death. Elsewhere, back at the main Jurassic World tourist resort, over 20,000 evacuated civilians from the northern zone were tightly packed into the plaza, clueless to the looming nightmare. The furious crowd began rioting over the sudden, unexplained evacuation. Tension suffocated the control room. Masrani and Claire took charge. A Cu-2 mobilized. Live ammunition loaded. Targets are locked on. Both beasts entered the southern herbivore zone. Near the aviary contact a Cu-2. Masrani panicked. The elevator opened, revealing an arrogant Hoskins. "What do you want here?" Masrani glared. "I am just here to help." Hoskins flashed a sly smirk. "Only beasts can fight those monsters. I have studied combat raptors for so long. Time to prove their worth. Use raptors against them." "Are you utterly insane?" Masrani fiercely rejected him. "Risk 20,000 innocent lives. You have completely lost your mind. Those people are already doomed," Hoskins argued. "Let me handle this. Nobody will die today." Masrani issued a desperate command. "Prepare my helicopter. Mount the M134 minigun. Those two monsters will not escape." Everyone froze. The boss was taking charge himself. Leo carried Gray south. They reached the Gyrosphere Valley, the most famous park attraction. Normally, humans rode spheres here, playing with the perfectly tamed herbivore dinosaurs all day. But now, the ride was completely locked down. The peaceful valley was violently shattered. Slaughtered herbivores littered the ground. Leo awakened his Ankylosaurus genes to max level 5. His armor scales rapidly evolved, turning gleaming silver, tougher than any military-grade plating. He did not stop there. Leo hunted nearby beasts, extracting their incredibly powerful genes. Triceratops genes formed horns. Stegosaurus genes manifested into deadly spikes. His head and tail strikes grew utterly terrifying. Every single swing carried devastating power. Suddenly, roaring engines shattered the silence. His thermal sensors detected two rapidly approaching strike jeeps. The humans returned. Leo knew instantly. These armed hunters brought only absolute death, an overwhelming threat level. "No room for errors," Leo growled, pulling Gray into dense shadows, activating tree frog and cuttlefish stealth camouflage. He completely vanished. ready to ambush. Moments later, the roaring engine sounds of both strike vehicles heavily approached. In the leading jeep, the commander stayed hyper-alert, using an advanced life radar. The loud alarm blared, a red dot flashed on screen. Got 3 o'clock. The commander instantly barked out combat orders, yet suspicion lingered. Why only one target? Boom, a massive explosion erupted from behind. He whipped around, eyes wide in disbelief. The second vehicle launched into the sky. Upon landing, a colossal foot crushed it flat. The heavy jeep was instantly flattened. Dear God. The commander looked up in absolute horror. A colossal shadow blocked his entire vision. The male Indominus Rex was fully enraged. According to data, this massive beast should be 15 meters long and 7 tall. But reality was terrifying. This monster was twice that size. The radar simply failed entirely. Can it actually block radar signals? In the control room, Claire watched, trembling violently. Team 2, live feed displayed everything clearly. Beep. 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 The radar slowly ticked. The grim sound of death echoed again, seeing Leo emerge like a demon. Claire palled. He can actually turn invisible. Am I seeing things? He grew massive. With horns. Tail spikes are present. Insane. Is he endlessly evolving? Human logic completely shattered instantly. Open fire. Shoot that monster down now. The commander trembled in absolute terror, yet roared his orders. Heavy machine guns aimed. A devastating storm of hot lead erupted. Merciless bullets slammed into his giant body. But the expected sight of a bloody, shredded monster never happened. Clang, clang, clang. Bullets simply ricocheted off his impenetrable armor. Fierce sparks violently flew. Completely illogical. Human reasoning entirely shattered. Is this all you have? Are you tickling me? Leo remained completely unbothered, ignoring the bullet storm. He lunged viciously at the doomed vehicle. Trees shattered under its unstoppable massive body. Drive fast, the captain panicked. The driver slammed the gas. The engine roared loudly, fighting desperately to escape. But Leo's speed was insane, closing the gap fast. The captain refused to just surrender. He snatched his sniper rifle, aiming right at Leo's head. He pulled the trigger. A deadly muzzle flash spat fire, striking Leo's skull in a mere blink. The 20mm steel round barely scratched Leo's thick scales. Not bad. You left a tiny mark. Leo unleashed a mighty roar. A giant shadow quickly engulfed them. Jump out right now, the captain roared back, smashing the door and jumping. The rest reacted far too late. In that critical split second, Leo stomped the vehicle, launching the heavy metal skyward. The metal spun, crashing with a bone-chilling crunch. Meanwhile, the captain rolled away. His bones felt crushed. Yet he stood up with pure iron resolve. Standing up, a massive reptile head, larger than his own body, glared right into his soul. The massive jaws opened slowly into a cruel, bloodthirsty smirk. No ordinary smile at all. It was a demon's grin. He screamed hysterically before instantly being cut off. Only blood remained. Leo peeked into the ruined wreck, finding his remaining prey, ending them. Squadron 2 wiped out. In the command center, Squad 2's lifelines vanished. Claire and the others froze in pure terror. That male Indominus Rex was a pure monster. Normal armed troops were simply zero match. Only Miss Ronnie flying above offered hope. Slaughter system alerts constantly flooded Leo's vision. He harvested over 30 bonus gene points. Still, hunting down weak humans was barely worth it. These petty points were useless. The battle over. Leo finally called Gray out from hiding, lacking Leo's physical power. Stray bullets could easily kill him. Thus, he protected Gray earlier. Gray approached anxiously, inspecting the wound. He noticed a sniper shell stuck in the tough skull. Sniffing gently, Gray pushed Leo's head down. With razor-sharp claws, he pried the bullet free. He stepped closer, licking the gash. Relax. Buddy, I am barely even hurt. Just a little blood. Leo felt deeply amused. The gunshot wound did not hurt him at all. Actually, Gray's saliva soaked his head. Suddenly, Leo's sharp ears caught a roaring hum up above, slicing the sky. He glanced up. An attack chopper hovered above, locking its aim onto them both. An M134 gun mounted the door. Damn it, his beast instinct screamed pure danger. He instantly roared toward Gray. Run away now, he would bait the chopper. Gray sensed the lethal threat, refusing to leave Leo. Yet that commanding roar forced him to flee, vanishing into the valley woods. Leo ran the opposite way, unleashing his absolute maximum running speed. His goal was meters ahead. A massive dome ending the valley. Leo had zero anti-air skills now. Against a chopper. He was merely a living punching bag. Time to summon reinforcements. Target locked at 10 o'clock. Inside the chopper cockpit. Masani himself piloted. Escorted by 2 guards. The heavy gun instantly barked a deafening blast. A storm of fire erupted from the muzzle. Heavy bullets ruthlessly chased Leo's shadow, sweeping the earth. The rugged valley terrain, plus Leo's insane speed let him dodge bullets, though some hit dead center, sparking loud clangs of hard steel. Impossible. Is this beast forged from pure steel? The 3 aerial men were paralyzed in sheer disbelief. Suddenly ahead, a massive round glass structure met Masani's eyes. The aviary dome. And that male Indominus Rex crashed right into it. That massive impact shattered the ultra-thick tempered glass. Razor-sharp shards flew everywhere. Masani's face turned completely pale. If the Pteranodon flock escaped that dome, his chopper wouldn't just face destruction. All Jurassic World tourists would face the apocalypse. As Leo breached it, the dome dwellers went completely berserk, confronting such a massive predator. All the ancient birds began shrieking hysterically. This dome held medium-sized species, Pteranodons, Dimorphodons, and others, roughly totaling 400 to 500 creatures. Leo unleashed a sky-splitting roar, then pounced on a cliffside Pteranodon. Darting fast as lightning, the beast tries fleeing, but fails. Leo's jaws snap its neck, crushing bone to dust. Swallowed like a mere snack. Pteranodon exterminated gene plus 30. Pterosaur gene acquired. Flight level 1. Extract. Leo's eyes burn fiercely. Fusing this gene means sprouting wings to conquer skies. But evolving right now is impossible. Annihilate the human threat first. Then secure safety. Absolute chaos will soon erupt inside. Leo unleashes havoc, forcing the entire pterosaur flock to blast through the shattered glass. Aboard the chopper, Masrani's crew watches the monster storm. Pale-faced, they desperately attempt escape, but the aerial predators have locked onto their new prey. There is no escape. A Dimorphodon violently rams the chopper. Near the open door, the gunner nearly plummets downwards. A death grip barely saves him. But a split second later, another beast tears him apart. This is merely the beginning. The monster horde swarms the chopper with frenzied claws. Rotors shatter from the brutal impacts, accompanied by a massive explosion. The chopper free falls, crashing violently into the dome's base. The aircraft detonates on impact. Masrani and the pilot die instantly. It is totally over. Inside the control room, Claire's crew turns dead pale. Absolute despair crashes over them. Broadcast it now. Evacuate all visitors, Claire screams. Yet, a sinister smirk quietly blooms nearby. It is Hoskins with Masrani dead. Nothing blocks his dark master plan. At the Jurassic World resort, over 20,000 souls are gathered together in one place. Emergency alert. Seek shelter immediately. The warning suddenly blares from the massive speakers. Before anyone reacts, a piercing scream tears the sky. Everyone looks up. A storm of giant wings sweeps the sky. Pterosaurs howl. Massive panic erupts instantly. But the aerial predators are much faster. Giant Dimorphodons dive, snatching humans like helpless prey. In a flash, countless fall. Blood floods the streets. The resort becomes a living hell. A 4-wheeled vehicle desperately plows right through. The rider raises a tranquilizer rifle. Rapid shots drop the sky monsters, one after another. It is Owen, our main character moments ago. He led routine drills at the enclosure, hearing the emergency alarms. He rushes over, facing this brutal aerial assault head-on. With the containment squad arriving, the resort's utter chaos slowly falls under control. Most sky beasts are tranquilized. However, a few escape, flying far away from Island Nublar. If they reach the mainland, an epic catastrophe awaits. As night falls, Owen, still unaware of the absolute truth, bursts into the control room. Inside, Hoskins blocks him. The Sly Snake brought heavily armed mercenaries, seizing total control. Following Masrani's death, all original staff were forcefully kicked out. Hoskins rules everything now. Owen. Perfect timing. The board handed emergency control over to me. His fake smile masks sinister intentions. What is going on? Why did they escape? Owen roars. You do not know. Let me explain. Hoskins reveals the breakout of 2 Indominus Rexes. Owen freezes in pure disbelief. Unleash the raptors you trained and hunt down those two damn beasts. His insane ambition is exposed. No, forget it. Owen rejects him without hesitation. He knows Hoskins only wants his raptors. Besides, two Indominus Rexes totally eclipse their power. His raptor pack never fought on a real battlefield. Losing control means disaster. I am not asking. I am in charge. My forces surrounded them. Everything is ready. With or without you. This is happening. His icy voice abruptly drops. Ultimately, to save remaining lives. Owen swallows his raging fury and forcefully agrees. He will lead his raptors against the Indominus Rex. But outside, the living nightmare still lurks. The chopper blazed fiercely. Meanwhile, Leo, the mastermind behind this whole catastrophe, vanished deep into the dense jungle. Seeking isolation to absorb the pure node in DNA, he focused. Genetic fusion initiated. Hellish heat scorched his muscles and bones. Unimaginable agony struck. Then, snap. The horrifying crunch of shattering bones erupted directly from his ribs. Two massive bones violently pierced through his scales. The absolute torment made him roar. The twin bones extended like monsoon bamboo, shredding the air for 30 meters. His monstrous wingspan had now reached a staggering 60 meters. Fusion progressed. Flesh morphed over the frame, spreading majestically like colossal sails. Finally, the brutal evolution concluded, and the pain vanished. Approaching the river, he checked his reflection. Only one word, legendary. The wings felt incredibly natural, as if he was born with them. The Pteranodon gene granted him absolute dominion over the sky. Time to test it. A dominating aura exploded from his roar as he glared at the heavens. His silver wings flared menacingly. The colossal titan prepared to split the sky. Leo flapped with all his might. A devastating hurricane instantly erupted. Weightlessness consumed him. His legs stomped brutally, shattering the ground into a crater. The apex predator shot upward, driven by incredibly fast wing beats and raw power. His 50-ton body now effortlessly defied gravity. Ascending higher, he breached the canopy into the boundless sky. He was flying. Looking down, the massive trees became tiny specks. Pure exhilaration flooded his face. Initially slow, but once he mastered the fierce wind currents, his speed multiplied exponentially. From above, his predator instincts locked onto Gray. Leo unleashed a dominating call. Hearing it, Gray roared back in response. But when he turned, nothing. Then he looked up, seeing massive wings tearing through dust. It was Leo. Leo touched down flawlessly. His terrifying wings folded neatly like an iron umbrella. Upon landing, Gray circled his alpha with massive curiosity. Leo nudged him gently, rumbling softly, guiding him toward the resort. Night fell. At enclosure 3. Owen grabbed the tracker meat. He let his 4 raptors catch the scent, locking them onto the trail of the twin Indominus Rex. Preparations were complete. Owen mounted his bike while the mercenaries boarded armored vehicles. Released the raptors on command. The heavy steel gates blasted open with a roar, led by Blue. The 4 predators bolted like lightning. Owen's squad followed closely, tasting freedom at last. Their bloodthirsty primal instincts were fully unleashed. 10 minutes later, the pack slowed. They caught the scent. The Indominus Rex. Owen signaled his squad. The raptors halted. The heavily armed strike team infiltrated. Deathly silence. Cold sweat began drenching Owen and every single soldier present. Suddenly, an eerie rustling echoed from the dark tree line. From the shadows, a titan emerged. Everyone stared in sheer horror at the Indominus. Owen finally realized the true, overwhelming terror of Leo's colossal evolution. His raptors and men were mere ants facing a god. This beast was Leo, relying on superior predator instincts. He instantly moved forward to block their path. Don't forget, raptor blood flowed within him. He could establish absolute cross-species dominance. Raptors are brilliant pack hunters. Like wolves, they only submit to the absolute strongest alpha. Your real enemy is behind you, the humans who chained your fate since birth. With a roaring thunder, Leo gives an absolute order. Dinosaurs reject slavery. Instantly, the 4 beasts turn in unison. Their dead eyes lock onto the humans. The battlefield aura turns terrifying. Damn, no wonder his genes were kept secret. It had raptor blood from the very beginning. Owen finally realizes this dark truth. Dread chills his bones. Why wait fire now? Kill that absolute beast. From the control room, Hoskins screams in panic. Mercenaries unleash a rain of bullets. The steel rain threatens Leo, Yet every shot merely sparks against his massive frame. His iron scales deflect the strike. Gunfire echoes loudly. Just die right now. A desperate soldier fires a rocket at Leo. But the next event defies all known logic. The giant beast leaps skyward, tearing from its ribs. Massive wings wildly erupt. He takes flight, his mighty wings summon a savage hurricane. Obliterating the forest, the surrounding trees instantly crush flat. Humans blow away like dust, while the rocket explodes where Leo just stood, scorching half the forest. Yet the roaring flames cannot scratch the absolute king. Impossible. The beast flies. Hoskins stares at the screen, face completely pale. Fall back. Retreat now, Owen screams as his broken troops hopelessly scatter. The true nightmare is no longer just this singular male Indominus Rex. 4 traitor velociraptors are now primed for a bloodbath. Before taking a breath, a recovering soldier is ruthlessly torn apart by the savage blue. His screams pierce the sky. Troops freeze in sheer terror, blindly firing. No bullets hit the agile predators. Desperate screams consume the forest. Owen abandons all hope for his remaining men. He sprints desperately toward his car, purely focused on escaping this absolute hell. But a second later, the shadow of death descends from above, crushing his getaway car. Leo's massive claws snatch Owen like a toy. Better luck, next life go be Star-Lord. Leo flashes a savage grin, ignoring Owen's terrified gaze. The giant jaws devour him whole. Nothing personal. But Owen was the main protagonist of this Jurassic universe. That is why Leo must kill him first. Without Owen, the 4 raptors will never betray. The Alpha splits the sky again, descending to slaughter the soldiers like pitiful insects. All combat forces are fully crushed. 4 bloodthirsty raptors surround Leo, swearing loyalty. The Alpha accepts with a loud roar. No future in fighting alone. Like the old saying, gather all loyal allies. Meanwhile, Gray steps out the shadows, having raptor blood. He starts to converse. Gray's absolute power crushes them all. Blue is forced into the number 2 spot. This scene feels incredibly familiar. Exactly like street thugs fighting to be boss. Watching Gray and the pack build their hierarchy, Leo can only chuckle deep in his heart. He is no basic street thug. This is a true vengeance squad. Their real target is the greedy humans who cage them forever. Dinosaurs reject chains, time to rise and rule. Leo's roar pierces the heavens. The Alpha leads Gray and the pack through the dark woods, charging past the woods to the Jurassic core. Humanity hunted them for too long. Now begins their revenge. Inside the control room, Hoskins' face turns deadly pale. His veins bulge with fury. His absolute victory dream shatters into shameful failure. Admittedly, the Indominus Rex is the perfect weapon. Too bad that golden chance is gone. Better run while still breathing. Shaking, Hoskins quickly calls Henry. It is ruined. Henry, our mission is completely destroyed. Pack up. We leave. Abandon this cursed island. Hoskins roared. Cornered, Henry could only obey him silently. Hoskins and his desperate crew boarded the chopper, rushing Henry's urgent evacuation. But during takeoff, a maddening roar shattered the night sky like lightning. Hoskins, Henry, and the entire squad went incredibly pale. The male Indominus returned. The Grim Reaper arrived. Impossible. How can it fly and why so incredibly massive? Henry instantly recognized Leo, the terrifying male Indominus Rex he personally created. Only Henry truly understood its genetics. That genome mixed over 10 different ancient beasts. Yet nothing should have formed those huge, developed pterosaur wings, triceratops horns, stegosaurus plates, or a colossal brachiosaurus body. What actually happened here? Did he fatally mutate, or did this terrifying monster evolve without bounds? Henry stared blankly at his creation. He is coming, shoot, fire your weapons. Hoskins screamed in pure panic. Troops unleashed endless bullets. But Leo never bothered dodging, tanking that brutal bullet storm. Leo lunged viciously straight toward the escaping chopper, barely lifting off. Lacking momentum, Leo's terrifying shadow completely engulfed them from overhead. This 10-meter chopper looked like flimsy prey against Leo's incoming lightning speed ambush. No. Everyone completely froze in terror. Seconds later, Leo's jaws ruthlessly snapped the tail. Solid steel completely shattered under his vicious bite. Losing balance, the chopper violently crashed. Fortunately, the helicopter had not flown high. The chopper exploded violently. Yet, the passengers miraculously survived despite their severe bleeding wounds. As Henry breathed relief and scrambled away, Leo descended like death itself. The mighty storm from his wings easily blew these weak, totally powerless humans away. Indominus Rex pierced his claws, ripping the hull like crumpled, uselessly fragile paper. The cabin's entire contents became easy prey. The shocked troops desperately raised their rifles. But one massive tail swipe instantly obliterated them into raw, bloody minced meat. Somebody help, Hoskins screamed hysterically, crawling frantically to escape Leo's fatal grasp. But the giant claw slammed down viciously, completely crushing Hoskins' fragile human body. When the deadly claw lifted, only a flattened bloody crater remained behind. Only Henry survived, completely paralyzed by absolute terror, unable to move a single finger, staring closely at the massive beast. His face went completely pale. His lips trembled, utterly voiceless. He realized this terrifying monster purposely left him for last. This creature definitely recognized him. Leo extended his scythe claw, casually lifting the totally surrendered Henry. He stared intensely. In silent, right then. Leo grinned savagely, a terrifying fanged smile exuding deep, soul-crushing vengeance from within. Leo knew exactly who stood before him. The very first figure he ever saw was Henry. Being a lab creation, he possessed zero real parents. His true creator was indeed Henry. In that case, Leo needed to say thanks. With a light grip, Leo's claw instantly snapped Henry's neck without resisting. Henry's eyes bulged horribly, his pupils hollowed. Following Hoskins, dying while wearing an utterly unbelieving expression, he completely refused being slaughtered by his own hand-crafted monster. Leo tossed the corpse and turned away. But suddenly a massive earthquake hit. Another giant beast charged, entering his psychic radar's absolute range. Leo instantly noticed. A gigantic Tyrannosaurus Rex miraculously escaped and was madly rushing straight toward him. Running ahead, a frantic woman sprinted in high heels while firmly holding a red flare. 30 minutes ago, when the mission failed, Hoskins fled in panic alongside his subordinates. Others fled in sheer terror. Only Claire stood her ground. She firmly held on. Fleeing meant the male beast would win. A crazy tactic formed. Monster against monster. 11 huge cages stood here, packed with brutal carnivores. Zone 9 held the mighty T-Rex, a living legend, the absolute queen and grand icon of this island. She was named Rexy. Claire instantly freed the ancient queen. One goal: slay the wild, rampaging male beast. Entering the blood arena, Rexy glared at Leo. A booming roar echoed, but Leo roared back. Over 20 meters and 50 tons. Leo easily towered above Rexy. Yet, that massive size gap sparked zero fear in the queen. She lunged fiercely, jaws wide for a neck bite. But Leo met her with full power. They clashed like thunder. A shockwave shattered the solid ground right beneath their giant feet. In that deadly split second, Rexy was hit by insane force. Her body flew, helplessly smashing the wall behind her, buried in rubble. Bones crushed. In a flash, the queen met a tragic, crushing defeat. Leo barely even used his true power. He refused to torture the elder. Instead of death, Leo made Rexy his loyal servant. Ended in a flash. Claire's hope for Rexy to stop the beast was totally shattered. The fight ended before it began. Claire froze stiff. The beast's deadly gaze pierced her, jaws wide open, bloody fangs dripping. Panicking, Claire turned and fled. 1 second later, the female struck from the shadows and swallowed her alive. The female named Grey arrived on time. It was the ultimate dark welcome. Free feast. 4 raptors instantly joined this insane, bloody feeding frenzy. Leo turned away, uncaring. Every crew member died. Now a beast. His human soul was finally dead. Different species can never truly align their loyalty. That is the cruel law of monsters. Humans were just enemies now. Friend or foe, nothing mattered. From the crushed rubble, Rexy's low groan broke the silence. The queen slowly stood. Leo approached. Blood-red eyes glared down sharply, unleashing an absolute ruler's roar. Bearing the apex genes, Leo crushed her spirit without facing any resistance. Offering 2 choices: bow or die, the arrogant queen crumbled before a god. Forced to lower her head in defeat, Leo nodded proudly, introducing her to the squad. An elite fighter officially joined. But this was far from over. The fierce Raptor and T-Rex zones were totally shattered. Smash every cage. Free every beast. Let this storm of death rage out of control. Without wasting words, Leo led the death squad to launch a truly brutal invasion. Zone 1 held endless tiny monsters, Their vicious mob could rip any prey to bloody shreds. Zone 2 locked up 5 venomous spitters, weighing half a ton. Their toxic spit could blind and paralyze prey in a single blink. Zone 4 caged 2 massive horned predators. These ancient cheetahs dashed like lightning. Zone 10 chained a giant thorny titan. An extreme genetic nightmare that terrorized the deep northern zone. Boom, Leo smashed gate after gate. Everyone was freed. The island's power shifted forever. This place was no park anymore. Monsters became the absolute rulers, escaping their hellish cages. The carnivore army roared together in an epic victory. Suddenly, a godlike roar split the sky. Looking up, a colossal winged dragon glared down fiercely. Instantly, reality hit hard. That four-winged beast smashed the gate from above. Leo glared and roared to flaunt his might. Submit or die, a clear vow. The tiny raptors instantly fell to the dirt. Terrified, 3 Carnotaurus and 2 pterosaurs saw his size and surrendered fast, bowing their heads. But those 4 giant apex beasts refused to just yield their pride so easily. Perfect, Leo thought, viewing the scene. Those who obey survive. Rebels will be destroyed. Leo wasted absolutely no extra time. Folding wings. He dove fast, aiming for the strong Giganotosaurus. Shocked by the rush, the foe tried dodging but failed. A mad strike hit hard. The 15-ton beast flew up high, shattered just like a smash ball. Its body crushed many walls before halting. One is down. As he fell, Leo spun fast. His heavy club tail swung around. Truly brutal. The Spinosaurus was also blasted. Sorry. You are all trash. Brutal cries broke out. Knowing the tide turned, the flying beast flapped its wings to escape. Cannot win now, run away. As his feet kicked the dirt, Leo struck like a flash. Using his 10-meter height, he gripped the low-flying bird, then brutally slammed it. The last foe was scared to death. It just collapsed limply, unable to move. Leo let out a victor roar. Other beasts crawled right to him, bowing in total defeat. Flat on the ground, the huge winged beast had no choice but bowing. Both apex rivals were now tame. The rule is clear: the strong eat the weak. Strongest rule. With that, all carnivores were tamed. The main character's army grew so vast. But these are just land beasts. At Westlake lives Mosasaurus, the unrivaled water lord. This sea terror is definitely the most deadly monster in all of this park. The hidden ace that dared to eat the final boss on film. In just one bite. Over 30 meters long, it easily beats the real Cretaceous age. Even Leo did not want to rush that fight. For now, let them live in peace. Leo did not rush to conquer the Water King. It can wait. Another task is vital. Leo united his troops, leading them through the wild woods to the final goal, Southport. That Southport acts as the top main dock, set on the south coast. The one and only exit path for all tourists here. Night grew dark, yet tourists still gathered. Suddenly, a terrifying roar tore the quiet sky. What sound is that loud thunder? All tourists instantly looked up, seeing a black sky shadow moving fast to threaten their lives. As it came near, they knew it was no storm. A winged beast swooped with a roar. Even from afar, everyone felt a dreadful aura, sending deep chills to their bones. A beast. All humans seeing it panicked and scattered wildly in chaos. This beast lacked any tie to normal park dinos anywhere. It was a pure true monster. The port fell to ruin. Fierce carnivores emerged behind the dock, cutting off all escape paths. The horde roared as one, daring mankind. Starting today, this whole island belongs to the beasts, pushed by fear and a will to live. Tourists had zero choice but diving into the sea. Finally, the island was wiped clean. Today it is a banned zone. Leo stared at the vast dark sea, across the tide. Foes wait. This has just begun now. Dawn has broken. Sun rose east. A new day began. A day meant to be peaceful. The whole world panicked. An emergency broadcast erupted from Masrani Global's Jurassic World. Giant dinosaurs rampaged, completely out of control. Oceans of blood spilled. That day, secret intel reached Monarch's Castle Bravo in Bermuda. Serizawa stared in horror, devouring every single word of that deadly document. This male Indominus is no animal. He's a pure demon, Serizawa whispered, sweating cold. These bloody pages exposed the absolute darkness behind the Jurassic World tragedy. From survivors who barely cheated death, a winged demon dragon hit the port, leading carnivores into a brutal bloodbath. That demon dragon was the Indominus Rex. It totally defied all human logic. After Caesar and those three beasts, another fake monster is born. His assistant Vivian trembled. Human greed just summoned its own doomsday. Serizawa exhaled heavily, defying nature with monsters. Just look at Caesar, the former chimp. His pregnant mother got injected with experimental toxins. Caesar gained godlike brains. 2 years ago, his ape army conquered Muir Woods. Monarch quickly built Outpost 11, crowning Caesar the absolute first artificial beast, plus 3 other raging savage beasts. George the white gorilla, Ralph the flying wolf, and Lizzie the giant croc, cursed by a serum. Their vicious mutations totally leveled Chicago 1 year ago. The city burned to ash. Then they vanished. This proved one absolute truth. Humans can never tame monsters, and must pay a truly devastating blood price. But as always, humanity is too arrogant to learn from its own bloody history. This Indominus Rex is our new karma. The damage is done, and regret is useless. Monarch must step up to eradicate this absolute chaos. Serizawa quickly begged the Monarch elders, demanding an island Nublar outpost for the beast. Serizawa bestowed a deadly new codename upon the Indominus Rex Miraz. 3 days vanished like a blink since the bloody Jurassic World tragedy. This terror became normal. Every single year, a mutant monster goes on a rampage. The public grew numb. Panic faded. But Monarch's eagle eyes watched the island. Funds and elite soldiers prepared to strike down that hellish island. After kicking humanity out, Leo claimed the throne, leading Jurassic World's new order. First decree: food. Without humans, dinosaurs had to hunt with their own fangs. The solution: survive and conquer. Survive to suppress their overwhelming instincts. Leo herded all herbivores, from Triceratops to Ankylosaurus, to the northern edge, hunting hours-bound carnivores. As for expansion, time to hunt blood outside the island. Leo chose to conquer without hesitation. He must devour prey for gene points and territory. Reading the absolute wheels of destiny, Isla Nublar's volcano would erupt. Before doomsday hit, Leo needed a new throne. At the control tower's peak, Jurassic World's highest point, and his new personal lair, Leo summoned his system panel. He dumped all his gene points into Brachiosaurus DNA. In just one single blink, his Indominus body exploded in size, expanding beyond human logic. 30 meters long, 15 high, a 100-meter wingspan, 500 tons, mocking a blue whale. The ultimate surprise: the limitless growth secret awakened. That gene shattered all physical chains. This gigantic scale was just a warm-up, fully devouring the Brachiosaurus gene. Leo locked onto the Pterosaurus. Flight skill hit level 3. Speed broke 300 kilometers per hour. Gene points drained, but totally worth it. Then, Leo unleashed his epic 100-meter wings, leaping skyward with a massive kick, piercing the clouds like a rocket. He surveyed Isla Nublar through sharp maneuvers, leaving tornadoes behind. Even crazier, he awakened 2 new genetic skills: the Pachycephalosaurus hard skull gene and Parasaurolophus sonic blast. That thick skull gene made Leo's head far denser and much heavier, basically indestructible. As for the sonic waves, though no crest grew after fusion, he could freely release sound waves and tune the frequency at will. The utility was insane. From signal interception and sonar to a deadly sonic weapon. Status panel open. Indominus Rex. Length 30. Height 15 meters. Weight 500 tons. My gene points are still too low. Leo grumbled mid-flight. I need to leave Isla Nublar to hunt. Besides, my evolution is still stuck in the savage monster phase. He had no clue how to evolve or what the next level was. He had no answers yet. But first, one massive Jurassic World threat needed to be wiped out. Hey little Mosasaurus, bow to your King Westlake zone. The closed waters holding the beast. For days, the Mosasaurus grew erratic and hyper-aggressive. Simple reason: no staff to feed it. Leo's genius trap: starve it out. And its combat power drops like a rock. Now, the time to subjugate that monster has arrived. Leo hovered calmly over West Lake. Suddenly, the peaceful waters below violently erupted. In a blink, the water exploded like a landmine. Giant lethal jaws snapped from the depths, chasing Leo. The monster's true form was revealed. A massive 30-meter Mosasaurus. This is what I wanted. Bait taken, Leo flashed his sickle claws. perfectly locking the beast's upper and lower jaws. Locked by the counter, it fought to snap shut. But Leo's terrifying strength was overwhelming. Unable to bite, its colossal body was now tightly bound in Leo's iron grip. Going down, flapping his 100-meter wings, Leo dragged the 200-ton thrashing beast out of the water. In pure panic, the Mosasaurus thrashed like a gasping fish. But before the monstrous Indominus Rex, it was absolutely nothing. Boom, Leo lifted the beast dozens of meters high, then violently slammed it into the ground in a deep-sea clash. Despite his sheer size, the ocean wasn't Leo's zone. It's deadly there. But on dry land, the monster could only surrender. Even on land, it used its massive weight to violently thrash around. From afar, Rexy, Gray, and the other beasts watched in shock, terrified of its sheer size, but more amazed that Leo crushed it with such absolute ease. Soon, the drained Mosasaurus fell silent in utter defeat. Leo stomped down, roaring his absolute dominance. Beaten half to death, the Mosasaurus truly lost all will to fight. It had absolutely no choice but to bow before the true king. Once submitted, Leo kicked it right back into Westlake. Life spared. Rewarded with a leftover Brachiosaurus corpse, the starving Mosasaurus instantly devoured the flesh blindly. If I eat, you eat, then you're free. The outer ocean is vastly wider than this tiny, pathetic lake. With a fierce roar, Leo burned that promise into its brain. Like the others, it was caged since birth. Now, with all of Jurassic World's power systems completely dead, dead fences, breached walls, Westlake now met the open sea. The Mosasaurus fully grasped the situation. It replied with a very soft rumble, full of pure gratitude and absolute loyalty. The ultimate Jurassic alliance was born. Leo's massive wings beat, taking flight. His explosive roar summons the Jurassic alliance below. Pterosaurs rule the skies. Below, the colossal Mosasaurus breaches the dark waters. On land, the Indominus Rex, Gray, Rexy, Giganotosaurus, Spinosaurus charge forward. Their terrifying aura signals the true Dragon King's awakening. Instantly, an absolute hierarchy forms within the mighty Jurassic alliance. Leo reigns supreme, crowned the absolute Jurassic Dragon King. He sits upon the highest throne. His brother Gray stands below. Then the 5 fierce generals Mosasaurus, Giganotosaurus, Rexy, Quetzal, and Spinosaurus, with 8 dragon knights added. The Jurassic Alliance stands taller than ever. Glory to Dragon's Ding! Congratulations, Jurassic World conquered. 2,000 gene points rewarded. The system chimes. Jurassic World is completely crushed. Leo stays silent. Suddenly, forbidden knowledge floods his mind, revealing the true terror of this realm. This isn't just Jurassic World. It's a deadly fusion of legendary monster universes. Planet of Apes, Rampage, the Meg, Skull Island, even the legendary Godzilla. Dinosaurs are just the beginning. This reality is infinitely crazier than Leo imagined. The Jurassic realm was merely a tutorial. Kong, Godzilla, Ghidorah, Titans weighing thousands of tons are real. Absolutely thrilling. Leo accepts his fate. His heart races for battle. Darker futures breed stronger resolve. In the present, 2,000 points instantly upgrade the pterosaur, Pachycephalosaurus, and Parasaurolophus genes. Pterosaur gene sonic flight wings, 5 times stronger. Speed hits Mach 1. Pachycephalosaurus gene activates. His skull morphs into pure, solid steel. Every bone turns iron hard. Parasaurolophus gene evolves into a devastating, lethal sonic pulse. High-energy sound waves compress and violently erupt, creating an absolutely lethal shockwave. 3 rapid genetic evolutions grant Leo an insane, overwhelming power surge. Internal threats erased. Leo's gaze shifts outward. Time to expand his territory, targeting the islands. His prime focus, Isla Sorna, the distant sister of Isla Nublar. He gives Gray orders, then blasts straight west toward Isla. Past Nublar lies open sea. Isla Sorna is 140 kilometers away. A trivial flight, high above. Leo accelerates madly. Air resistance fiercely stacks every passing second. Densa air splits, violently torn apart by his relentless speed. Shock waves explode, roaring thunder tears the sky apart. A pure sonic boom. breaking the sound barrier. Leo claims the legendary power of true sonic flight. At Isla Sorna, Monarch's Black Hawk arrives. Another remote island. I am sick of these places. Captain Conrad complains. He was an elite soldier from the British Special Forces. In 1973, he braved the mysterious and deadly Skull Island. Surviving that hell, he joined Monarch. Yet, deep trauma always haunts him in cursed places. Now, Monarch forcefully deploys him and his partner, Weaver, to find Outpost 13. Stay calm. It is just a risk-free survey mission. Predators are extinct here. It is nothing like Skull Island. Vice Captain Weaver tries comforting him. Conrad nods bitterly. They are already here. Complaining solves nothing. Survey completed. They spot the eastern waters. Perfect. Let us depart immediately. Finally done. Conrad wipes his sweat. But suddenly, an overwhelming dread shatters his peace. The team boards the Black Hawk one by one, fully prepared to report back to Monarch. Boom, without warning. A massive boulder violently strikes the ascending Black Hawk, shattering its rotors. The chopper instantly flips. It plummets from the sky, crashing into Earth with a devastating explosion. What is that? Weaver screamed, eyes wide with pure terror. King Kong. Conrad froze like struck lightning. King Kong. Weaver echoed, totally dizzy. Kong belongs on Skull Island. Him being here makes zero sense. Suddenly, a colossal albino gorilla shattered the forest, 12 meters tall and 9 tons. It stood, violently beating its chest with a deafening roar. That was not Kong. It was George, the albino monster that destroyed Chicago. Weaver instantly shut her mouth. Monarch hunted these 3 beasts for over a year. Who knew they all hid on Isa Island? All units. Black Hawk 3 is destroyed. Black Hawk 2. Call backup now. Conrad barked into the radio, swallowing his panic. Suddenly, a deadlier beast breached the woods. A giant wolf with needle-like black spines. Agile as a cheetah, its razor-sharp claws radiated a killing aura. Its spine bristled like a porcupine, 26 meters long, 13.8 tons. Fall back. Conrad snatched Black Hawk 1's controls, diving east toward the ocean coast. Seeing George and Ralph stop, Conrad finally caught his breath, but the calm sea erupted. A monstrous crocodile jaw emerged, aiming to swallow them. A demon crocodile dwarfing both George and Ralph, 68 meters long, 150 tons. Weaver's heart nearly exploded. George and Ralph only inhaled serum vapor, but Lizzie swallowed an entire bottle whole. Her mutation reached another dimension. Lizzie's jaws snapped Black Hawk 1's tail, shredding it midair. We are crashing. Brace! Conrad roared. It felt familiar. The crash dragged Black Hawk 1 ashore, swallowed by roaring waves. Conrad and Weaver unbuckled furiously, scrambling out of the crushed helicopter. But above, Lizzie's mountain-like body loomed. Her saw-like teeth were inches away. Before this beast, the 2 humans were just tiny ants, right before death. A sonic boom ripped the sky like divine lightning. Even from afar, the deafening roar threatened to rupture their eardrums instantly. Lizzie screamed in pain, turning her mountain-like mass from her prey toward that sound. What is that snapping from shock? They saw an insanely fast winged dragon approach. Its massive wings created storms on Isla Sorna's coast. It was Mirez, Isla Nublar's male Indominus Rex. Both yelled, recognizing him. Compared to previous departure records, Mirez grew monstrously huge. His flight triggered sonic booms, clearly hitting Mach 1. Inside the roaring storm, Lizzie, Ralph, and George bellowed. To them, Isla Sorna was home. This dragon and invader. These 3 monsters felt familiar. Leo arrived to observe the albino gorilla, flying wolf, and giant crocodile. Monsters from Rampage. All here, the timing was absolute perfection. My genetic points are empty. Normal beasts do nothing. Only divine monsters yield real points. These beasts were pure treasure, easily worth thousands of genetic points. Leo locked eyes on the smallest prey. George, wings tucked, diving like a fatal meteor. His monstrous shadow engulfed George. George hurled a giant rock at Leo's head, but Leo had zero intention to dodge. He let the rock strike him. A loud blast shattered it completely. Leo's head had Pachycephalosaurus genes. Steel bones absorbed the hit flawlessly. Leo's scythe claws gleamed coldly. Using dive momentum, he slashed George's neck like a blade. George. Brutal strike. Its headless body collapsed instantly. Mutant silver ape eliminated. 1000 gene points. Ape gene steel muscles. Shark gene giant growth. Whale gene rapid expansion. Beetle gene 100 times power. 1000 points secured. Insane loot slaying. George dropped 4 ultra-rare genetic codes at the exact same time. This twisted mutation was absolutely caused by that cursed biotech serum. But forget the loot, the battlefield is heating up. We need to fall back immediately. While the beast fixated on Leo, Conrad and Weaver desperately scrambled for their lives. One stray hit would crush them like bugs. Suddenly, Ralph dashed forward with blurring speed, closing the gap. He leaped high, sinking his deadly fangs right toward Leo's colossal frame. Yet, Ralph's savage jaws completely failed to pierce Leo's steel-like armor scales. His fangs shattered like glass against solid iron. The mutated wolf's ambush totally failed. Moving like a trained assassin, Ralph extended his massive wings and launched into the sky. He tried fleeing, but Leo refused to let him escape. Flapping his wings, he gave chase. Leo's scythe-like claws slashed out, brutally gripping Ralph's hind legs. With one vicious pull, Ralph was slammed down. Leo stomped his head with maximum force. 500 tons of crushing weight dropped. Ralph howled in agony before instantly dying. Mutant wolf eliminated. 3,000 points secured. The analysis was completely successful. Wolf gene acquired level 1 shield. Massive loot from Ralph. Before Leo could catch his breath, Lizzie the colossal gator charged. Not just massive. This titan's raw power and defense were absolutely terrifying. Jaws that could crush modern tanks. Her armored hide easily deflected human weaponry. Defeating this giant gator is tough. Closing in, Lizzie suddenly whipped her tail. Her massive body lunged like a deadly trap. A fierce gale hit Leo's face. Lizzie's gigantic maw snapped open, aiming for his throat. If those jaws locked on and triggered her terrifying death roll maneuver, it would be totally fatal. But Leo's instincts were faster. He read her attack perfectly. He grabbed Lizzie's upper and lower jaws, violently forcing them completely wide open. Sensing danger, Lizzie panicked. Too late. Her huge jaws were ripped apart until they tore. Lizzie shrieked in agony, her huge body convulsed as she broke free from his death grip. Leo decided to utterly crush her inner organs. With a series of lethal slams, he completely shattered Lizzie's bones from the inside. 10 brutal impacts pulverized the ground. The giant gator finally lay lifeless. Bones turned to ash. Her dead corpse fell limp. You have slain the mutant alligator. 10,000 gene points. Gator gene level 1 bone shield. Such an epic harvest. 3 beasts down, 14,000 points. Great job. Reward is 3 rare mutagenic serums. This corporate formula merged DNA, triggering flash mutations for any living creature absorbing it. The system notification rang loudly in Leo's ear. Mutagenic serum. Leo's eyes gleamed with pure joy. Incredibly useful. Even if not for him. After all, he had plenty of animal genes. The battle ended, and smoke slowly faded. Leo finally remembered Conrad and Weaver down below, like a giant nearly stepping on ants, distracted by the fight. He ignored them. Yet, their human faces looked weirdly familiar. Was that Loki and Captain Marvel? Leo suddenly realized they were just normal human beings. But wait. A wrecked Blackhawk helicopter. An inverted funnel logo. It was definitely the Monarch Agency. Leo knew that symbol. They were Monarch agents. The monster tracking division of this Titan world. Why was Monarch here? To track those 3 beasts? Or were they actually hunting Leo and his dinosaur? Leo absolutely refused to let humans trample his territory. Monarch or whoever. Conrad and Weaver instantly froze, paralyzed by a bone-chilling aura piercing their souls. Maraid's blood-red dragon eyes flared sharply, locking onto their trembling targets. Smash a colossal foot obliterated them like mere insects. System. Status open. Name. Leo. Length 30 meters. Height 15 meters. Weight 1,000 tons. Nothing changed, but with muscle density skyrocketing. His weight condensed into an explosive 1,000 tons. Combined with multiplying strength, his crushing force shattered the 1 million ton mark. With super regeneration active, unless instantly vaporized, his body heals at lightning speed. Total absorbed beast genes instantly leveled up to 18. His core evolution focused purely on base genes. The absolute foundation of supremacy. 10,000 remaining points fueled infinite growth, transforming him into a true behemoth. The Indominus Rex mutated again, sparking a terrifying wave of monstrous evolution. Length 50 meters. Height 25 meters. 5,000 tons. Durable as a battleship. 5,000 points fused into his ironclad skin, hyper-compressing his raw muscle fibers. His titanium skull, unbreakable supporting bones, and razor-sharp steel shark teeth, plus his metallic sickle claws. Everything ascended. As points faded, Leo returned to reality. He scanned Isla Sorna. The living prey here was nearly wiped out, yet nature remained untouched, untainted by humans. A true dinosaur breeding paradise. Leo claimed this territory as Base 2. Time slipped away completely unnoticed. Darkness fell. Leo refused to linger on Isla Sorna any longer. Unfurling 150-meter wings, he launched, ripping through the midnight sky, dragging 3 colossal monster carcasses straight back to Isla Nublar.